Talking today to Debra Odutuyo, who is the creator and executive producer for a British-Nigerian comedy show called Meet the Adebanjos. Debra, how did Meet the Adebanjos come to you?
Meet the Adebanjos really came about from just looking, I guess, within my own household and realising there was so much comedy from the Nigerian culture which had not been represented on UK television. And not only is Meet the Adebanjos the first ever British-Nigerian sitcom, it's actually the first ever British-Nigerian sitcom in the world, let alone in the UK. But it really all started from home, just looking within.
You were telling me last time you were with your family on a way to a wedding.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, my family are hilarious, and we had an occasion where we were all travelling to a wedding, and we were all together in a car, and we were at each other's throats, and there was a lot of funny scenes. My dad, who's really like anal and wants things his way, and then there's my mum and my larger than life auntie character, and there was just so many different characters that I thought, this is comedy gold, and this had not been seen yet. And I always like to do things that have never been done before, and so I was really attracted to doing something, being the first, to bring this to television.
And where has it been shown on television?
Okay, well, in the UK, it airs on the Africa channel. Also aired on OHTV, Vox Africa, and Ben TV, Ben Television. It airs across Africa. It's in Nigeria on the Silverbird Network, and soon to launch on the NTA network. It airs in Ghana, it airs in Uganda, and it's also due to air in South Africa.
So what kind of reaction are you getting from Africa? Because the little Lagos of South London is some distance from the real Lagos.
I guess the funny thing is, it's like when I produced the series, I had a sort of a British-Nigerian perspective in mind. But it's amazing how it strikes a chord with so many indigenous Africans, people that, Nigerians. When I was in Nigeria in December, and I showed it to sort of the family environment, and I had a lot of the houseboys watching it, and they were laughing. They found it so hilarious. And I was worried that it wouldn't translate, like some of the jokes wouldn't be able to translate, because it's based upon the kind of British-Nigerian setting. But they found the comedy and the fact that they were represented. And I think that's the most important thing, that they were represented in a format that they only see with American television. And this was the first time that they were represented, their stories, their movement, their culture, the way they talk, their little, just I guess, the little nuggets of what makes us Nigerian, what makes us African. It was represented for the first time, and I think they embraced that. And I've actually been overwhelmed at how well the series has been embraced in Africa, because it has been really, really, really embraced.
And you've now got a stage show that's about to go out. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. Well, Meet the Adebanjos, the brand, the great thing about this show and this movement, which some people are calling it the Tyler Perry movement. I say that there are millions of Tyler Perrys in Africa and the UK, and they are just blossoming now, and they're coming out. But I mean, with us, we have so many ideas and such a strong vision for what we want from Meet the Adebanjos, and the theatre is the first stage of that vision. The show will be live in Catford Broadway Theatre on the 13th and 14th of July, and that will be our first theatre production. And after that, we'll be going on a UK tour, 5 cities across London, and it's the same thing that people like from the series you'll see in the television. It's the same thing that people see from the television show is what you'll see in the theatre production. So it'll be the full cast, entertainment, family entertainment, comedy, and again, it's probably the first British-Nigerian family comedy series. So I like breaking records.
And I hear that there's talk of an international tour, maybe.
Yes, there is. Our plan and my vision is to do the UK tour, and from that do the Africa tour and do the America tour. So.
And how did you, before you had the idea for Meet the Adebanjos, how did you get into making television programs?
I think always loved television and entertainment. I actually studied law and was training in law. I was about to begin my training contract working in Chancery Lane in one of the top law firms, and I had a sort of an epiphany because I studied drama and I loved the arts as a young child, but when you get to university age with very strong African parents,
they want you to be a lawyer.
Exactly, your future is actually planned out for you.
Yeah.
So after studying it, I just felt like I'd love to do something that I want to do, just for a bit. I just love to express myself. And I took a sabbatical from studying law and just wanted to find myself and find out what I love to do. And I love production, and it wasn't even something that I planned. It was actually a hobby. I started off as a graphic designer and an editor, and I thought I want to do more of this. I love doing this. And so after law and working at the law firm, I then went on to train in production, and I did production courses, and I was so just hungry for it. I loved production. I loved entertainment, TV. I did a TV training course. I did an editing course. And from there, I started just working on different shows, on different sets, gaining so much experience. And that's, and the rest is history. And then I just moved on into
And what
TV.
do your parents think of the girl who should have been a lawyer?
Well, the funny thing is, my dad always says to me, "Are you going to go back to law?" I come from a family of academics, so they always ask the question, but I think they love what I do, they support it, and I think they're really proud in the fact that MTA Productions, my company, is bringing the first ever British-Nigerian sitcom into television in the UK, a story which they it's based on their lives and their experiences raising myself and my brothers. So I think they're really proud of that.
Debra, thanks for talking to me today.